Hey, good morning, everybody. I am a little late because if you didn't hear, if you're familiar with Satsu 2 Cents, one of my buddies over on another stream that they're doing right now, he and Squishy just had their baby. So I had to go drop a few bucks over on his Streamlabs link. But hey, doesn't mean I'm not going to do my own show. Good morning. And it is the Morning Night Live. Play the intro now. Bing. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Stop the music, and maybe I'm not 100% sure now that you asked, Mr. Dax. I think the labor was over. I don't know. She went into labor last night during her water. Well, I don't know. Maybe her water broke during the show when I was watching developments. And it looks like Satsu is at home. Let's see. Let me find out. I'm not sure. So just give me a second here. I'm actually going to go onto their stream. I'll even put you on with me. Let's see, subs, and I don't know. Let's listen to their stream for a minute.
Pregnant lady. If it pisses off the nurse, that's fine. So I was like, okay, and I went and got the nurse.
Let's see here.
And the nurse came in.
So we're watching Monkey stream for a moment here. I do got a lot to get into, but I'm going to listen to their stream. They can't hear me, so I don't know.
Fast, so.
Yeah, that happened with, like I said, Angel tried to army crawl out. The nurse came and looked. It was like, okay, you're at 4, and left. And like, I don't know, 10 minutes later, I realized my stomach was pushing.
Oh, well, that's Squishy right there. So yes, the labor's over.
It was contracting so hard that it was a push, and I'm like, I'm pushing. And like I said, my ex would not come in the room, so my best friend was with me. It's a tiny little redhead woman, and if you ever had a tiny redhead friend, they're crazy. And so she shot out into the hallway and dragged a nurse by her hair back into the room.
I'm just typing to the chat.
Because the nurse was like, she's not ready. And she looked down and went, fuck, there's a head, and ran out of the room. And then my friend's down at the end of the table. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And she's like, if it comes out, I'm catching it.
That's just says she's still at 3 for now. She's got the epidural and she's chilling. Cool.
Yep.
Okay, it's not done yet.
That's the thing.
Yeah, he's got his sister in there too, taking care of brother. So take a nap. You won't miss anything, I promise.
Yeah. He's not in pain anymore.
They will wake you up when it's important.
Oh yeah, Bert and Emmy. That's metric is how they measure that.
Yeah, it's not my fault. We're not using imperial.
Wait, so we measure in centimeters for that, but then we go pounds and ounces when we pull them out.
Yep.
We are freaking retarded.
we're just we're multicultural, Dad.
We're Americans. Heck yeah, we do things different.
That must be theirs. Okay, that's theirs. Oh, good job, Expo Hotep.
Oh, this is a story about the primary race. I don't care.
All right, let's see.
Because there have been people dropping out. John Hickenlooper.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Piccolo.
Everybody's like, who?
Yeah, but he's decided he's going to run for Senate.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. Well, all right. If you're in my stream right now, I'm going to mute him.
Polls are showing he could beat the.
If you're in my stream right now, and you haven't done so and feel like inclined, they're doing a little streamathon over on Ranting Monkey stream, and if you want to donate to the cause of baby 2 cents, Satsu and Squishy, there's a link over there on Monkey stream. But I got to get my stream started, so here we go. All right, that's cool. Yeah, the baby is downloading, exactly. So, hey, welcome to the Morning Night Live. It's me, Marty, your host, a.k.a. Dawg Knight, on the Dawg Knight channel. It is Friday, August 23rd, 2019, and we do have a lovely show for you today. Hey, but I know what I forgot, though. I was going to put the State Fair cam up here, and I was going to, my fish cam. Like, the fish cam's got me going. I'm just all excited about the fish cam, so I'm going to use that as my main screen today. Oh, it's not playing though. There we go. All right, there's the fish cam live from the Minnesota State Fair. Hope you enjoy the beautiful, lovely water. Okay, so I originally I was going to start out my stream today talking about a purchase by the former president of the United States. But then last night, I happened to catch part of the Young Turks. Now, everyone loves the Young Turks, I know. And Hasan Piker, as we talked about yesterday, made some interesting statements on the internet when he was doing his Twitch stream, talking about how America deserved 9/11. And he made some choice statements about Representative Dan Crenshaw, a Republican from Texas who lost his eye on his third tour of duty in Afghanistan, getting hit by an IUD. And Hasan Piker said something to the effect that one of the brave soldiers for the Mujahideen, actually, he lost his eye because one of those brave soldiers basically fucked his eye out. Okay, so pardon my language. I'm just generating the message. So last night on the Young Turks, apparently somebody got to Cenk Uygur because Cenk Uygur decided that he was going to teach Hasan Piker. I call it teach him how to moonwalk. Moonwalk meaning he was backtracking like Michael Jackson in the 25th anniversary special for Motown. And IED. And I'm sorry, what did I say? Did I say IUD? I bet I did. I said IUD, didn't I? No, he did not. He didn't lose his eye to a exploding interuterine device. Okay, yeah, that's not what happened. So anyway, Cenk Uygur decides that he's gonna bring Hasan Piker on so that he can address the online comments and maybe get a little apology out of that. And that is what we're gonna start with today. Oh shoot! Now I closed the window. I closed the other window I wanted. Dang it! Oh God. Oh well. Let's see. Let me just make sure I can find this one too, because this one's another one I want to show you today. Another. Well, anyway, let's go. Anyway, let's watch the Young Turks. This is incredible to me because, first of all, Cenk Uygur apologizes for nothing. Okay, and my personal opinion is somebody got into Cenk's ear, probably someone who spends a lot of money helping Cenk keep his, shit show afloat, and said, "Get that kid on your show and make him backtrack to what he was saying," because it became a big deal. Now, granted, I'm going to warn you, and it's going to probably annoy you, but I am also going to be this much charitable to Hasan while we're talking about this. Only this much, because he's an idiot. And what a dickhead move he did when he said this shit. But let's just watch this, okay? So let's see, Young Turks, here we go. So this is a long segment. We're going to go through most of it too. So just listen to the backtracking by Cenk. Listen to what Hasan says. We're going to get we're going to have I'm just telling you, this is amazing. All right, so here we go.
Joining me now is Hasan Piker. He is part of the TYT network. He does Breakdown and now a new show, Agitprop.
Now, first of all, look at Cenk's demeanor. Cenk is like, usually Cenk's a little more bit animated and whatnot. And Cenk's almost looks scared during this entire interview. And it's going to be crazy. But here's the thing. I laugh because he tries to make Hasan look like Michael Jackson, but Hasan ends up looking more like Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future 3, if you remember what I'm talking about. The scene where where the outlaw is telling him to dance and he's shooting at his feet, and Michael J. Fox is moonwalking, but it looks like crap. That's what this interview reminds me of. Here we go.
Hasan, welcome. And listen,
no, look at Hasan too. Hasan knows he's been a bad boy. He knows he's about to. Here's what it looks like to me. Just this scene. Cenk knows that Hasan has fucked the Young Turk show, and he's got to try to find a way to make this right. Hasan looks like Cenk's been yelling at him in the green room for about an hour, and you get your ass out there and apologize because this is screwing up our funding. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go.
You're on because you said some things that a lot of people, including myself, find very offensive. You did not say it on the Young Turks Network. You said it on your own Twitch channel.
Very important for Cenk. You didn't say it on the Young Turks Network. You said it on your Twitch channel. But everyone knows you're Cenk's nephew. Everyone knows you're on the Young Turks. But he's got to clarify that because somebody, I'm telling you, somebody has their foot in Cenk's ass right now for what Hasan said. Get his ass on there and make him apologize. Here we go.
So we're going to take him one at a time and have a conversation about it. In the past, when conservatives have
Hasan with the fuck you, I know I'm in trouble. Please, just let's get this over with.
Said offensive things. I have said that they should keep their job and we should have a conversation about it. I said it about Megyn Kelly, Don Imus, and Rush Limbaugh. And so here we are.
I don't recall that. Maybe he has done that. You know what? There's occasional times when Cenk, it's the clock theory, okay? Cenk does something right twice a day out of the 24 hours. And he has defended some people on the right who've gotten in trouble for shit like that. So I'll give him credit for that, but it's pretty damn rare. And Cenk never apologizes. So this whole segment is amazing to me. It's amazing that they even put it on. They do their whole show. It's a live show, and then they cut the segments up and put them on as separate segments. I'm shocked that they put this segment on, except for the fact that somebody is stepping on Cenk's head right now.
I'm living up to what I said about conservatives and progressives. We're having a conversation. So you said America deserved 9/11. Did you mean that?
No, obviously not, especially considering the fact that while that is a very viral quote that is going around currently, if those people were at least even remotely charitable or cared about the actual truth of what I was talking about, they would understand that within context, I was simply referencing the fact that all of the foreign...
Long drawn out explanation, and just instead of just saying no, but he's sitting there defending himself. Now, he brings up the word charitable. This is where I'm not gonna probably gonna be. I might annoy you just because I may give him the tiniest bit of the benefit of the doubt that he was being somewhat facetious and over, edgy, even though it's really nothing to joke about. But you know what? Perhaps. So let's hear his explanation.
Policy decisions and our arming of insurgent groups in the region and our efforts in destabilizing the Middle East have a direct consequence, a boomerang effect, rather, if you will, in causing 9/11. Of course, every part of what I advocate for is against violence.
False. He is a avid against violence. He's an avid supporter of Antifa. And the whole punch Nazi things back, when they started the whole punch Nazi conversation we had about a year ago. Oh, I think Hasan was in that punch the Nazi crowd. Even though you don't know who the Nazis are, because what fucking Nazis? But anyway, so don't lie, Hasan. Do not lie. But all right.
Poor violence. I think it's awful. And as a matter of fact, I was very frustrated with the fact that Dan Crenshaw, a person who 4 times voted nay on bills that would stop arming Saudi Arabia. He voted no 4 times on those bills. It would turn around and talk about the necessity for endless violence, and that this simply was happening because...
Okay, now let's just stop there. Dan Crenshaw was not advocating for endless violence. Dan Crenshaw's point that he was talking about, that you don't know about this. Yeah, we helped the Mujahideen in the 80s to push the Russians out of Afghanistan. Yes, we did. And that's where he's saying, well, what he basically made a what goes around comes around argument than when they turn on you. But that's a whole lot different than saying, okay, yeah, we helped them defeat the Soviet Union and then they ended up turning on us. That's a whole bit different thing from, we deserve 9/11. Fuck you, dude. Furthermore, Dan Crenshaw wasn't proposing violence. All he was proposing is making sure that before we leave there, that it's somewhat stable. Now, you can have different opinions on that. I think pull them, get them out of there, get our troops out of there. You know what? There's a point where you just got to say swim, sink, or whatever. But that's an argument. He's not calling for endless violence. He's not calling for endless wars. Very few soldiers want endless wars.
Because these people, this simply was happening because these people just hated us.
Look
they hated us because they hate us. I'm paraphrasing.
Look at Shake.
But
Shake's
I thought
just
that was awful. I thought that was horrific. And in that moment, I thought, at the very least, I was saying that you can draw a direct line, basically, that it was a consequence of all of the...
Now wait to hear this next excuse, though. This is the most classically... I laughed so hard the first time I heard this, and I kind of laughed. I've watched this a few times just to make sure I knew what I was hearing, and wait till you hear this excuse, though.
Things that we have done in the region. This is not a controversial thing to say. Which is precisely why I followed up by saying, why are you guys getting upset at me? There's a live chat. There's a back and forth conversation.
Wait, if it's not a controversial thing to say, then you wouldn't be on the Young Turks trying to address your online comments.
On Twitch, for those of you who are unfamiliar, said, why are you getting upset at me? Nothing I'm saying is controversial, implying that I didn't even understand immediately why what I was saying was so outside of the bounds of reason, considering that Hillary Clinton has had a similar and correct opinion on this, talking about how we did fund Al Qaeda, and Noam Chomsky.
Church. Chick's like, you're not helping me right now. All you needed to say was no. You didn't need to go to this lengthy conversation.
And numerous other academics on both sides of the political spectrum.
So when you're talking about one of the causes of 9/11 being American foreign policy, it's not just Chomsky. Donald Trump has said.
Donald Trump has said that as well.
I understand that. I understand that. But you understand now, and not just now, but you understood fairly soon after you said it, that saying Americans deserve 9/11 is a completely different thing. One that's wrong.
Wait, no, I didn't say Americans deserve 9/11. I said America deserves.
Oh, so not Americans, but America. America. Okay. America deserved having people killed. Fuckhead. What a fuckhead.
But that's still
in that
wrong.
Moment, well, maybe you can chalk it up to English being my second language. Or
there it is! Oh my gosh, every time I hear him say it, did you hear what he just said?
No, I didn't say Americans deserve 9/11. I said America deserves 9/11.
Wait
but
for
it's
it.
still
in that
wrong.
Moment, well, maybe you can chalk it up to English being my second language or whatever you want to chalk it up to.
Oh my God. Chalk it up to English being my second language. Me no speak of the English. America deserved 9/11. Oh, I had no idea what I was saying. That's fucking hilarious. Okay, moving on.
If I followed that statement up immediately with, well, we're still continuing to fund the nation state responsible for this, and we act like they are our greatest allies, when that kind of arms sale
still doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make us deserve it.
Making, Hasan, but saying it that way is clearly wrong.
Yes.
Because it leaves people with the impression that you.
I should have used more precise and better. Use of the language there. It's
exactly, Lindsay. You know you fucked up if Cenk is calling you out on that, on calling his own nephew out on the show that he hired his nephew to be. By the way, Cenk, you know what? Your nephew doesn't have to be on the show. You do realize that, right, Cenk? You're right. You know that.
It's messed up that I would even give the opportunity to the right to try to morally grandstand on an issue.
Oh, that's what you did. See, you're not upset necessarily that you said it, but you're upset that you gave the right the opportunity to call you out on it, because that makes you and the Young Turks look bad, and particularly Cenk, who is not letting him get away with this at all. And I kudos to Cenk on this. Again, he's a jackass, but every once in a while, I don't know if this is his moment of integrity or if he's really worried. It's not like Sleeping Giants is going to come after him, but I'm pretty sure someone from the Katzenberg group who gave the Young Turks $20 million is saying, you get that little prick in here and set him straight, and it better be live on the show or we're pulling funds. I'm just saying, this could be.
Issue like this, when they are 100% resculpable for all of the bloodshed that has been caused. Even some other outlets in the mainstream media are
matter
also
what I said, because it's
culpable
their
in this
fault. They're bad.
Look, 3,000 people died, and that's terrible. That is a horrific event. I've covered this issue numerous times. I've covered the way that media has politicized it and the way that politicians have politicized this issue numerous times. There's an article I wrote 2 years ago on 9/11 on Huffington Post that you guys can go check out if you want to understand exactly what I mean. These are the same people that justified an illegal war in Iraq. These are the same people that normalized this same kind of violence.
Yes. And so me and saying that, America deserved 9/11 is the same. It's just like that. You know what? I know you are, but what am I? It sounds like fucking Pee Wee Herman. I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I'm good. I'm glad Cheik's calling him out. Whether he's scared of the money or what, I don't care why he's calling him out. At least he's calling him out.
My point is that, especially a congressperson who suffered, who sacrificed personally, and is now using that sacrifice to in a very civil fashion, albeit justify
more
endless
civil than
warfare,
you.
is abhorrent to me. I know that I was inappropriate. I understand that, which is precisely why I took action immediately as soon as I realized, this is going to be misconstrued. I don't want this to be weaponized. I don't want this to be.
I took action immediately as soon as started people calling me out on it. I decided to try and hide it, but it was too late because too many people had already recorded it and downloaded it.
People, I immediately stopped the stream. I deleted the VOD, the video on demand. And I continued after that to.
So you deleted it before any right winger wrote an article about it or not?
Of course, of course.
Of course.
Because look, I talk about Nazis, crypto fascists, and the alt-right quite frequently.
Yeah. Is Dan Crenshaw a Nazi, crypto fascist, alt-right? I don't think so.
Vocally in defense of a lot of the things that they oppose. Okay, anti-fascism being the primary thing, which is precisely why I have a lot of people who are waiting, sniping, looking to snipe comments out of context in exactly the same fashion that they did.
Now, fascinating, because isn't that all the Young Turks does? Isn't that that's their program model, right? To attack people on things they say? Isn't that the whole premise behind the Young Turks? Yes, they try to look like a news show, but pretty much they're kind of a mouthpiece. Supposedly they're alternative. They're the Justice Democrats. But when it comes down to it, they tend to they toe the corporate, corporate Democratic mockingbird media line as much as anyone else does. They try to be like the big independent guys, but no, they're just they're pretty much talking points. They're not even talking points. They are the creators of straw. They're the whole field of hay in Kansas, and they bundle up straw and straw ban everybody. It's amazing how Cenk is amazing at straw manning people. He makes up stories of what people are saying all the time. But anyway,
last night, and take it up the chain of command as quickly as possible and escalate it into a situation where I have thousands of people very publicly talking about how they want to brutally torture me and execute me.
Yeah, didn't really see a whole lot of that. I just saw a lot of people calling him an asshole. There's a whole big difference between you're an asshole and people think you should be tortured. Okay, not at least no big names. I've seen dozens of stories on this from yesterday. We went through one yesterday ourselves. No, sorry.
All right. Yeah,
which is weird.
Yeah, lots of people tell him exactly what you said, Maniac Man. A lot of people tell him just to shut the fuck up. Yeah, but come on. I'm a victim now. I said something really stupid and people are coming after me. Hey, you're allowed to say whatever you want to say. And if you believe that, Hasan, just own it. Don't hide. Behind, now I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Whatever.
Got you. So, look, to me, that's monumentally important that you misspoke and that you did not mean that. If you meant it, it would be a totally different conversation. Well, you pulled the video
now, did he misspeak?
Showing, in my opinion.
Did he misspeak, though? He didn't misspeak. He did not misspeak, Cenk. Okay? Stop trying. Again, Cenk's moonwalking. Hasan is Back to the Future 3. Cenk, Michael Jackson, Hasan, Michael J. Fox. Both trying to do the same thing.
You didn't mean it. Okay, but
by the way,
now,
that was like
now there's a whole series of lies saying that you support Al Qaeda and terrorism. When
now look, there's a whole series of lies. Let's see. America deserved 9/11. Now again, this is my moment of charitableness. I don't believe Hasan supports Al Qaeda, and in fact, at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think Hasan believes that America deserved 9/11. But I hear that leftist talking point quite a bit. I've heard, it's not the first time I've heard it. And it usually comes from people like Hasan Piker. America did this and our foreign policy and whatever, and we got what we got what was coming. Maybe, is that different than what we deserved? But I hear that more. I've heard that more than once. It's not the first time I've heard someone make that argument. There are now usually it's the real out there people. It's not the mainstream leftists. And a lot of them are just trying to talk about, well, what caused 9/11? Well, we did this. They blame our foreign policy and this and that and that. But yeah, he said the words. America deserved 9/11, and that's why he has got to walk it back. Yeah, there you go. Right, Obama's chickens have come home to roost. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway.
This is really important because the point you're making is Dan Crenshaw is voting yes to Saudi Arabia and funding them. And Saudi Arabia has funded a lot of that terrorism. I'm going to get to the comments you made about Crenshaw, which are also offensive and abhorrent.
Yeah.
But on that front, it's I'm not wrong in saying that that's the point they're making is the exact opposite of what you were actually saying.
The question I would ask.
No. See how Yank is trying to Chang's trying to put words in his mouth that it's the exact opposite of what you meant. Oh, now and Hasan's not making that point at all. It's just hilarious. Oh my God.
Ask is this. If I am supposedly a fan of all of the terrorism that is ongoing around the world,
That's not what you said. That's not what you said. We're not talking about that. Okay. Anyway.
Fan of Al Qaeda, as some other YouTubers who have a gigantic platform have put it, then why would I be upset at the government's decision to continue funding these groups? Or why would I have been upset originally at the government's decision to fund these groups? And then why would I be upset at the fact that we are still continuing to fund and supply arms to the Saudi Arabian kingdom, which then happen to find themselves in the hands of Al Qaeda? This is all factually correct information. This is all well documented.
And so I was right.
The arms that we have sold to Saudi Arabia at this point, and they are the number one country that buys the most arms from us, as Donald Trump put it, and as Reagan put it back in '86, when there was additional criticism against selling arms to Saudi Arabia. Why would I criticize that if I'm in support of Al Qaeda?
They're also the number one purveyor of terrorism, and that's why we fight against the Saudi government.
No, they're not. Iraq is, but you know, it's not the Saudi government supporting terrorism. But yes, there are a lot of Saudis who are involved in terrorism, and the Saudi government. I don't know how hard they try to weed it out, but it's irrelevant to what Hasan said, though. He's making an excuse, and poor Cenk is just trying to get through this.
Do. All right, so now let's turn to the comments you made about Dan Crenshaw.
Yes.
So, I guess
I'm trying to be delicate, but you know,
it's an attempt at satire.
Oh no. So see now, Cenk is trying to. It's an attempt at satire. Now, I'm going to grant you this. I'm sure, in some ways, Hasan thought he was being funny. And perhaps, well, of course he was joking in bad taste, because that's not, obviously that's not how Crenshaw lost his eye. But I'll let Cenk continue this. Never mind.
Made very crass comments about the eye that he lost in Afghanistan. So first of all,
here's the problem. You're making crass comments about the service of someone who did 3 tours in Afghanistan and nearly lost his eyesight completely and lost an eye. Now, you know what? Here's what I'm going to classify this as. I classify it as a very tasteless joke that you later just should apologize for. Okay? When Carl, Sargon of Akkad, tweeted a rape joke to a rape victim. Now, clearly he was trying to be sarcastic and edgy, making a very crass, distasteful joke. Now, I thought he should have apologized for that, even though it was just trying to make a joke. And in this case, Hasan was just trying to make a joke. But it's a crass joke about someone who lost a part of their body on their 3rd tour as a soldier on behalf of this country. So yes, you made a shitty joke, and all you should be saying goes, you know what? You're right. That was very crass, distasteful, whatever. And I should just apologize. But obviously, there's almost 9 minutes left in this video. So guess what Hasan's going to do? He's going to try to justify it.
At least everyone is assuming it's satire, including Dan Crenshaw. I'll quote him in a second. Was it satire?
Yeah, I don't think that the Mujahideen are actually brave. That was simply a reference to John Rambo 3, first and foremost, very famous reference to John Rambo 3 that featured, this movie is dedicated to the brave Mujahideen soldiers of Afghanistan. And on top of that, it was a reference to the fact that Ronald Reagan also considered them to be brave when he was arming them. When he escalated the arms that were, when he increased the amount of funding and training and arms and Stinger missiles that we were giving to these groups that then branched off and became the Taliban and became Al-Qaeda. So my point was, hey, we're doing the exact same things that we have done in the past over and over again.
Now, here you go again, Hasan. Now you're going and justifying it, okay? Instead of just saying, you know what? Yeah, it was a crass joke. Probably shouldn't have said it. But he can't do it. He can't do it.
At what point will we go, you know what? Maybe we should stop meddling in the Middle Eastern affairs. Maybe we should stop funding insurgency groups that we consider to be allies to ourselves.
Maybe we should stop going on a tangent and just say, you know what, that was fucked up what I said. I'm sorry, you know. Now, of course, Dan Crenshaw, who is probably the most level-headed person in Congress, made a little bit of joke about it, and just, you know, he's the same guy who the Saturday Night Live guy made fun of him, and he played it off and ended up going on Saturday Night Live with the guy, because Dan Crenshaw is not a thin-skinned little bitch.
And then get surprised when they turn around and use those weapons against us.
Okay,
I'm all about stopping the bloodshed.
So I understand that, and I agree with that point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think that what you said was horribly counterproductive and offensive. We'll get to that in a second. I want to at least show you guys.
Poor Cenk. Usually Cenk can actually look at the camera and at the person he's talking to. Cenk doesn't even want to be there. Cenk is like, look, would you just cooperate and apologize and shut the fuck up? His whole body language is like, you know, you need to fix this and you're not helping.
Some of the things that Crenshaw and Hasan said had on Twitter. So let's go to graphic 203 here. So no, I'll get to Crenshaw in a second. 203, that's Reagan meeting with the Mujahideen. That's the reference that Hasan was making and put on Twitter. 202 is the reference to the end of Rambo 3 or whatever. This film was dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters of Afghanistan. We did fund them. Yes, they were fighting the Soviet Union at the time. That's obviously important context, but
Yeah.
but we did have.
Did you hear Hasan in the background? So we did fund them. They were fighting the Soviet Union at the time, and Hasan's like, yeah, like that's a big difference. Here he says
2 is the reference to the end of Rambo 3 or whatever. This film was dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters of Afghanistan. We did fund them. Yes, they were fighting the Soviet Union at the time. That's obviously important context, but
Yeah.
but we did.
Does he hear him in the background? Like, yeah.
Blowback when they turned on us. Now, Dan Crenshaw, I actually thought was actually took it really well. He went on Laura Ingram's program today and had a lot of things to say about Hasan and the Young Turks that I don't necessarily agree with, but he has acknowledged throughout that of course it was satire. Here's his tweet. He said, Hasan seems to confuse improvised explosive device with some weird terrorist fantasy. And of course, he lost his eye in an IED explosion. And he says, LOL, sorry for triggering you, Hasan. You're no Pete Davidson, stop trying so hard. He repeated that on the Laura Ingraham.
So clearly Crenshaw understood that obviously Hasan didn't really think that, because that's a stupid thing to say. But, that Hasan was just using that as being funny, with a funny, tasteless joke, which it was. It was a crass, tasteless joke, and in particular against a vet who's done 3 tours, and again didn't come back whole, Most people don't like it when you joke about that. Oh, you got your arm blown off? Guess you won't be playing golf anymore. Shit like that. Anyway.
Program today as well. And look, I think that I disagree with Dan Crenshaw's policies, but in regards to an incredibly crass and offensive joke you made, he's handled it like a champ.
I agree. I think he took it like a champ. I would not have expected that, considering, like I said,
considering what? What's his record? He already has a record of taking jokes and turning them into lemonade. He did it with Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson made some crass, offensive jokes about him, and he and Pete Davidson broke bread right there on TV. Made some jokes, and he made jokes right back at Pete Davidson. So he does have a history of not being a thin-skinned little bitch. Unlike Cenk and Hasan Piker.
overwhelming amount of commentary that I've received so far on the issue is just very public displays of trying to kill me and fantasizing about murdering me or whatever, which is fine. It's a part of the job.
And you fantasizing about the Mujahideen skull fucking Dan Crenshaw wasn't anything, that was just nothing. But people are mad at me now because I said something crass.
I understand. Having said that, however, I have to make one note. Okay.
Oh, what? No. See, now this is, again, all he had to do, if he would have stopped right there, all he had to do is stop right there. But he wants to keep going now. And poor Cenk has to keep moonwalking. Cenk has to keep moonwalking because, because Hasan's dancing like a white girl with no rhythm.
Service does not guarantee respect. It should not. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's your opinion. That's your opinion, dickhead. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because if you service and you're dishonorably discharged for something, no, it doesn't guarantee you. Is that the case with Dan Crenshaw, Hasan? Is it?
This is the exact same kind of this is the exact same kind of sentiment that leads to the
Hang on a second. I hear the uh-ohs and okay, I see what happened here. I'm going to refresh my screen here just to make sure we're back. I don't know, it says excellent connection. Okay, all right, here we go. Let's get back to this now. Sorry about that, folks. All right, back to this.
disagreements on the way. I've talked about John McCain as well.
Yeah, and so saying I disagree with Dan Crenshaw's policy is one thing. Making that incredibly crass joke, I mean, how do you not see that it's counterproductive? Did you think that Americans would say, "Oh my God, that joke is so funny," or like, can you not see how most Americans would say this horrible thing about his eye injury would be offensive, and then stop listening to you?
If I considered what the popular thing to say was going to be every time I said something, I probably wouldn't be advocating for the things I believe in.
Oh my God. Okay, so here's the thing. Last thing I heard was something about jingoism. Oh, okay. Let me go back a little bit here.
Horrible thing about his eye injury would be offensive, and then stop listening to you.
If I
hang on.
if I
That's okay. We'll just
considered
keep going.
what the popular thing to say was going to be every time I said something, I probably wouldn't be advocating for the things I believe in.
Here's where I'm going to slightly agree with Hasan. Because what's happening in comedy, especially, really is not conducive to comedy. Let's put it that way. If you can't make offensive jokes, I just think Hasan wasn't. The problem is when he was doing this on his stream, he wasn't joking. He was actually showing complete and utter disdain for Dan Crenshaw. Now, he's allowed to do that. I don't, his right to say that kind of shit. Hey, knock yourself out. But you know what? When people call you out, you better have a damn good excuse or a damn good reason to, you know, justify what you said, or at least just take the consequences. Some people are going to be really pissed off you said it, and just say, you know what? Sorry about that. You know, it was offensive. It was tasteless. It was, particularly to this person who has done, you know, paid a huge debt to society, paid a huge price for being part of something that was thought that what they were doing was right. Okay, you know, whatever. Yeah, exactly, Dax. Funny how Hasan just made an argument for offensive speech being a part of free speech. Exactly. You're making Hasan right now is the poster boy for free speech. Okay, I don't think he should be removed from platforms because he said this. I just think the fact that he has to take a little heat for it. Hey, okay, you have to take a little heat for what you say, but I don't. You're allowed to say it, Hasan. We're allowed to call you a dick.
The final note I will say is this, okay? I would rather be uncivil and advocate for the morally righteous cause, which is anti-war and anti-imperialism, bringing our troops back home, ending the unjustifiable and unnecessary bloodshed, than be incredibly polite and incredibly civil and talk about ongoing genocide.
look at Shank. Look at Shank.
Refuse to acknowledge
Shank does not like what he's saying at all.
Vote in
He's not
favor
nodding.
Of the
He's stiff. He's back there like, fuck, shut up.
Continuing that genocide with our weapons. You can be as civil as you want.
Yeah, if you had said that on the TYT network, I would have pulled that video. I think it's offensive, it's over the top, and I understand you were trying to do satire, but I thought it was a terrible job at that, and I get why people are offended by it. So look, what we do here at the Young Turks is,
look at it. Their body language to each other even right now. You know they had words before they came on the air, and Hasan is just, he's doubling down, and I don't care, you know, that he can say what he wants, but boy, he's like, I wonder how long Hasan's going to be at the Young Turks. If this, I hope, you know, I got to be honest, I hope that he doesn't leave the Young Turks because he's entertainingly stupid. Oh, but Cenk is like, Cenk is doing his, again, Michael Jackson, Michael J. Fox, both doing the moonwalk. Who's doing a better job at moonwalking right now?
unlike any other network, we have wild, significant disagreements.
Rarely.
I know that bothers people.
Rarely.
And so
Rarely.
I have aired our disagreements on the issue of Russia and almost every topic that you can imagine. So Hasan and I disagree about that satire, to say the least. But what I don't want is people walking away thinking that he actually meant the misstatement on 9/11, and he did pull the
Usually
video.
Cenk will be looking right at the camera when he really believes something he's saying, but Cenk is just embarrassed. Cenk is embarrassed that this is part of his family.
To me, that's huge evidence that he realized right away that it was wrong, and
Making excuses for him.
This is talk shows are a fascinating and hard situation. They're not like
Did you hear Hasan sigh? Oh my gosh. Hasan is like, why are you trying to speak for me?
color job. They're not hard in that sense. But that's why in the past I've said NBC shouldn't fire Megyn Kelly, etc. Because
now listen, now, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I just thought of this, and I've watched this 3 times. Or I've listened to it 3 times. If you notice, he said 3 different times, I have defended people. I said Megyn Kelly shouldn't be fired. I thought Rush Limbaugh shouldn't be taken off the air. somebody told Cenk that they need to fire Hasan. Am I right? Somebody told Cenk they need to fire Hasan. Listen to him. He mentions Megyn Kelly. I said Megyn Kelly shouldn't be fired. And Hasan's sitting over there going, uh-oh, I know someone told you to fire me. Somebody's put the thumb on Cenk. Somebody with some money that's funding his channel. Listen to this again.
He realized right away that it was wrong. And look, this is talk shows are a fascinating and hard situation. They're not like a blue collar job. They're not hard in that sense. But that's why in the past I've said NBC shouldn't fire Megyn Kelly, etc. Because when you on your Twitch channel, you talk for what?
And he's not even looking at him. He's not even looking at him. Oh my God. Somebody told Cenk to fire Hasan, and he's trying to justify not doing it. That's what this is about. Ooh, Lord.
6 hours in a row.
That was from a 6-hour broadcast that they clipped 14 seconds from.
Doesn't matter.
If they only had clipped 60 seconds.
The rest of it was you playing games, you moron. God. And 60 seconds wouldn't have made it better. We've heard 60 seconds of it.
Of the 14 seconds, they would understand exactly what I was referencing and exactly what I meant.
So everything he said was just fine because you should know exactly what he was referencing. Wow. Cenk, somebody told Cenk to fire him. I guarantee it.
It would be wrong.
Look, the words I used were not the best words. I understand that.
I know, because English is your second language, and you haven't quite mastered how to use words yet, right? Right, Hasan?
Like I said over and over again, I get that. It's not good words. The joke stuff we can have a disagreement on. Yeah.
And again, I'm gonna say it one more time. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on the joke about Dan Crenshaw, him trying to be funny. It was extremely offensive, but it's an extremely offensive joke. Obviously, he didn't think that's, what he said about the Mujahideen, whatever. I don't know if the brave soldier thing, I've heard them say the brave soldier thing before because that's kind of a joke among them, because that Reagan used to call, or the Mujahideen was known as the brave soldiers. So I understand that, the joke, and nobody gets the joke reference unless you have to explain it. Sometimes, though, if you have to explain a joke that hard, maybe your joke just sucked. But I can give him benefit of that a little bit. It was a bad joke. Probably not the right person to joke about. Bad taste. But yeah, okay, it was a joke. The other part, not so much.
We obviously have a disagreement on the style, but ultimately, my points have always been throughout my professional career and in my personal.
I'm just laughing because Hasan thinks he has a professional career. You mean for your whole unprofessional career? But I digress.
Personal life, and still to this day, the exact same. Obviously, 9/11 was a horrific tragedy. 3,000 Americans died, okay? 7,000 troops have died since then in endless wars. And if you're spending all of your energy getting upset at me...
This is not an apology. This is, if you're offended by what I said, I'm sorry that you were offended. That's his apology here. Instead of just saying, you know what I said was probably not the best way to say things, I apologize to the American people. Or whoever I said it to, whatever.
Because I think that is abhorrent and awful. Maybe you should spend your energy elsewhere and realize that
those
who
your
justify
fault.
That endless bloodshed don't actually have.
Yes, it's your fault I offended you because you didn't do your research. Go Google it.
Best interest of those young men and women at heart.
All right, I want to make a correction because it's happening as we speak. Representative Crenshaw was not on Laura Ingram's program. He was apparently on the Daily Caller. So no, it doesn't matter.
He rips them too, and Jake's like, no, it doesn't matter what show he was on. You said some stupid shit.
either way. Look, it didn't happen on our air, but I think it was wrong. And if Representative Crenshaw wants to come on here, we would be very, very happy to.
I would love to ask him the question. I would love to have a conversation with Representative Crenshaw. And
now listen to this. So instead of saying, you know what, yes, I would love the opportunity to apologize to Representative Crenshaw in person and then maybe ask some questions about other policies. That's not what he says.
And because people keep saying that I'm.
If Representative Crenshaw wants to come on here, we would be very, very happy to.
I would love to ask him the question. I would love to have a conversation with Representative Crenshaw. And because people keep saying that I'm afraid to like address him in person or something, I'm not. I would love for the opportunity to be able to have a face-to-face conversation with Representative Dan Crenshaw and ask him directly to his face why he thinks it's okay for the United States to keep selling arms to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and then have those arms turn around and get transferred over to the hands of the Al-Qaeda.
The last thing is,
no, it should have been. I'd love to have Representative Crenshaw on and be able to say in person, "Hey, sorry, I hope that wasn't too offensive to you." Which obviously Crenshaw already said. You know what? I get it. He's trying to be funny. It didn't work, but whatever. You're no Pete Davidson. You can't be. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Poor Cenk. I don't know if I've ever in my entire existence of this whole Young Turks channel that I've been seeing for years and years and years, have I ever felt sorry for Cenk. I kind of do in this sense, even though I don't. But there's a hint of me feeling sorry for him right now.
It's guys, no matter where you are on the political spectrum, it's
now notice how finally Cenk is looking at the camera and saying something I think is sincere. Anyway,
okay to disagree. I think we've got to keep it within bounds, and so any comments about Dan Crenshaw's injury, I think, is out of bounds. And I think his service was great. It doesn't mean he's right about policy, but we got to give people their credit. And he risked his life and he lost his eye, and for that, I think obviously the country owes anybody who served a debt of gratitude. The TYT Plus.
All right, so that's the end of the Young Turks video. I am completely and utterly shocked that they actually posted that. This was during a live show. I was watching Hard Bastard last night, and people in the comments were saying, "Oh, the Young Turks, Cenk has Hasan on, and he's going to apologize." And so we watched it. He flipped over to that, and I flipped over at the same time. We were watching it live, and I just couldn't believe it. And then I listened to it again a couple times more this morning while I was at work just to hear everything that I thought I heard. And man, I heard everything that I heard. It's unfreaking believable. All right, let's move on. Let's get into some news. I have a ton of stuff today. I'm not going to get into all of it because sometimes you just got to watch the fish. Again, we're live at the Minnesota State Fair. This is the fish tank, and where they have about 40 or 50 species of Minnesota native fish in the tank. Minnesota's a huge fishing state, so there you go. All right, let's get back into the show. Oops, I'm trying to hit escape here. There we go. Escape that. Get back to me. Hey, by the way, good morning, everybody. I went a long time without even saying good morning, everybody. So, by the way, I didn't say it yet this morning, but Diesel Dave was first this morning. Diesel Dave, you do get the bell. I don't know if you're still here. You're probably listening in the truck. I know you sometimes listen while you're on the road, so that's cool. Appreciate you being here. Also, good morning, Maniac Man. I see you. Maniac Man, you've been active as hell in the chat. Appreciate that very much. Sheograth was here for a little bit. She's probably went back over to Ranting Monkey. Mr. Dax, Sarah, that's Smarty Bear, Jason Burns, Duck Dog, Mr. Dax, I said already. Pincalo, good morning. Jason Burns. I've seen a lot of people in here today. Straight Sith Male, Cynical Lindsay. Let's go down here. Marsupial Gamer, Green Badger Outdoors. Lots of people, a lot of conversation on this one. Good morning, Chi-Town Jay, Ghost Dog. I think that's everybody. If I missed you, put something in the chat. Also, good morning, Rolling Bear. All right, so I had some articles pulled up. The main one I was going to talk about was, let me find it here. Oh, did you hear? Our former and beloved president, Barack H. Obama, and his lovely wife, Michelle, and the kids are moving into a new house. Satsu and Squishy are now sleeping, and Satsu's mom is there. Okay, yeah, because they're still working on it. It's not done yet. The bun hasn't risen probably, and I was gonna say browned yet, but whatever. Anyway, the baby's not out yet, but hey, they're in that thing. They're in the thing. It's coming. It's gonna be here soon. Got the baby. Looking forward. Good morning, W.R. Cranston. All right. Anyway, back to the Obamas. They are buying a new house. Barack and Michelle Obama are close to buying a massive Martha Vineyards estate. Wow, good for them, it's amazing because well, here, let me finish this. TMZ reports that the former president and first lady are in escrow, aka in contract to purchase a 29-acre beachfront plot with 6,892 square foot main house. That's just the main house. The Obamas were initially just renting the 7-bedroom, 8.5 bathroom spread for summer 2019, but apparently loved it so much that they made an offer. It was most recently on the market, asking for $14.85 million. But the Obamas are apparently paying less. The property at 79 why did they put the address on there? Don't do that. That's not cool. Anyway, the house in Edgerton, Mass., owned by Boston Celtics chief Wick Grousbeck, has a living room with vaulted ceilings and a stone fireplace, a chef's kitchen, and a formal dining room with giant windows, according to the property's Realtor.com listing. The Obamas will bunk in the master suite, which has a fireplace and a private sun deck. Outside, there's a pool with another fireplace. A couple could swim on the private beach, which has a bathhouse. A boathouse, excuse me. Not a bathhouse, a boathouse. Uh-oh, hang on. I gotta stand by for a moment, people. All right, and I'm back. Hey, so this. Oh, did I have these pictures on here when I was talking? I don't know. So here's a picture of the house. Oh, this is one of 8 pictures. So look at this lovely home on Martha's Vineyard. Beautiful thing here. Big old ass house. Has a little back house here. Has a pool there. Here, let's go through the pictures. So this is one of 8 pictures. Hang on, what the hell's going on here? Here we go. So this is the first picture. There we go. And then here's, lovely vaulted ceilings in the living room. Isn't that lovely? Yes, okay. I do have some questions after we go through these pictures, though. So here's the pool. Lovely. Plenty of room out there. I hope they can afford a pool boy. Of course, he did get a $65 million from one of his last book advances after the... what's it called? After the book deal, whatever he wrote, another book after he was president. And so he's made plenty of money writing books. And I'm sure he can, whatever. Yeah, are millionaires still immoral? I was about to get to that. So here's the lovely, little nice, lovely stroll to the water out here in Martha's Vineyard, little sailboat there. I don't know I wonder if they know how to sail. That's a small sailboat for someone who's worth $65 million. And then we got, what is here? Okay, another shot of the pool. There's the nice deck off the master bedroom with some, sunning chairs looking out on the water. And, look at that. See, it's almost on an island. It's on the point. They have all this acreage is theirs. They're going to buy all this land here. The little dock here. They got a pontoon boat down here too. Isn't that nice? And let's see. And there's the last picture of the lovely over 6,000 square foot. You know what though? I kind of have some questions. I have some minor questions. Okay, so it's a lovely home, and I know Barack Obama is kind of famous for asking, when is enough enough? And also, I'm pretty sure they're heavy into the global warming thing, right? So the global climate change or whatever. So what's going to happen? Because look at this property. Here's a good shot of this property. First of all, it's over almost 7,000 square feet. I mean, that takes quite a bit of energy to heat and keep, temperature control, right? And especially because one of their daughters is in college. I think the other one's about to go into college. So they're about to be empty nesters in a 7,000 square foot house. Maybe their mother's going to move in. So there might be 3 people living in the house, right? And they live on this big old thing island here. But I thought we were supposed to be so concerned about climate change. Because think about this. Look at this land. It's right up there up against the water, right? And they don't forget, they already have the $8 million house in California. They got a house in California still. They haven't sold that one yet. But they're right up here against the water. What happens when all the glaciers melt? Are they thinking like someone who's concerned about climate change? Isn't this all going to be underwater when those glaciers melt? Is this just another case of do what I say and not what I do? Interesting. Washington Examiner. Let's see. Is this 7,000 square foot house? Same thing. Long that. Here's the whatever. Oh, okay. So, I see. Actually, Grousbeck previously put the property on the market for $22.5 million in 2015. Cut the price to $16.25 million. See, the Obamas also bought a home in the Colorado neighborhood of Washington, D.C. for $8.1 million after leaving the White House. So they still have a house in Washington, D.C. So when, maybe so that their youngest daughter, until their youngest daughter finishes school. But they also they bought a house in California too for about $8 million. So this is their third big ass house. They kind of got that Al Gore thing going, just have some big, because I think Al Gore's house in Tennessee, he has a house, I think it's in Nashville maybe, and his house in Tennessee is the house that I think it uses the most power of any house in the entire electric grid in that area. But climate change. So fascinating. It's fascinating. Good. But you know what? Look, let me be honest. If I could make $65 million on one book, I might buy a big ass house too. I might. Although that's not really my style. That's just too big. I could see buying a small house on a giant piece of land in, northern Wisconsin or something, but I don't know. Anyway, good. Hey, good for the Obamas. They are finding their dream home, and as they become empty nesters, except for a mom who lives with them, or mother-in-law, Michelle's mom lives with them. But more, what? Is Obama, I don't care what you think about him as far as the president and whatnot, is Obama living the American dream? Yes, he is. Good for him. Good for President Obama. All right, what else we got? Now did y'all see this thing about this Overstock dude? This was really, really weird. And I'm not sure what to think about this guy. You know what? I'll tell you what. Let's do this real quick. Even though I only have 15 minutes left. Shoot. Should we just go right into see what's happening on Twitter real quick? Should we? I don't know. Here, let me get some. I got to get some funk going though, because I feel like we spent so much time listening to Shank. I got to have something that makes me happy. Here we go. Let's see. We'll start with this one. This sounds good. Oh, that's too mellow. Hang on. Here, I'll put it on here, but it's too mellow. I got to find something a little more upbeat. I don't need laid back. Let's try this. Let's see. Oh, that's too. Come on. Here we go. All right, we'll do that one. All right. Tell you what, we're going to do 2 articles. We'll do some Twitter trends. Or actually, let's just go through the articles quick. So this dude from Overstock.com apparently had sex with a Russian spy. She's not a Russian spy, first of all. They keep calling her a Russian spy, but she's not. Overstock CEO had sex with a Russian spy, says Peter Strzok gave him orders in deep state investigation. Now, this dude had a really weird interview. This guy here, I think he's loony. I just do. Former Overstock CEO Patrick Byrne named the FBI officials he claims gave him orders as a part of a deep state investigation. Over the course of 2 Thursday interviews on Fox Business and Fox News, he pinpointed former bureau leaders Peter Strzok and Andrew McCabe. I got some requests. I did not know who the hell it came from, and it was fishy. And 3 years later, I'm watching television, and I realized who it was. It was Peter Strzok and former deputy director Andrew McCabe. And that's who these orders came from, he told Fox Business. Now, the whole story is kind of fishy. I don't get it. I'm not saying give an X to doubt, but I'm going to just let you read. I'll put it in the chat if you really want to read it. But it's funny that this guy who was dealing with the FBI and they were trying to, it was more in reference to some things that were going on with Hillary Clinton and just figuring out that he had something to do with this. What's her name? Maria Butina. Now, they keep calling her Russian spy. That's even weird because she wasn't a Russian spy. But whoever, let's see, he said he engaged in a sexual relationship with Russian spy Maria Butina at the encouragement of the FBI, but did not rekindle the romantic aspect of their relationship when asked to do so as the Russia investigation progressed. Burns said he had been swept up in political espionage and a deep state plot. Butina was sentenced in April to 18 months in prison for conspiring with a senior Russian official to infiltrate conservative American political circles and influence U.S. relations with Russia. You know what's funny about that? There's no law that corresponds with what she... There's no law for that. I don't even know what she was... The only thing they could get her on is not registering as a Russian agent, but then again, she wasn't even that. They found some way to put her in jail for 18 months. But, who knows? Byrne, who claimed he was offered a $1 billion bribe to keep quiet, said he chose to come forward because he felt guilty tying the decision to the recent wave of deadly mass shootings. I don't have any idea. I'm not going to listen to this. I'm done with this dude. But it's a weird story. It's just weird. It's just weird. All right, let's see. New York Times reporter solicited $30,000 charity donation from Jeffrey Epstein. Let's just say that this is another weird thing. Just the New York Times disclosed to his editors in 2018 that he was a longtime friend of Epstein and had solicited a $30,000 donation to a private preschool in Harlem. NPR reported because, yes, Epstein was a Democrat philanthropist on the side of having sexual relations with young women. So I don't know. This is one of those ones that's okay. This is a tangential link between the New York Times and Jeffrey Epstein. Somebody knew that. I don't know. Somebody knew one another, and so it smears the New York Times. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Hey, did you hear? This is interesting. Laura Loomer, everyone's favorite loony. You know what? I'm one of those people on the right, but Laura Loomer is loony. I'm sorry. But anyway, Laura Loomer is actually suing Rashida Tlaib. Did you know that? Laura Loomer, natural person, citizen of Florida, is versus Rashida Harbi Tlaib, born and formerly known as Rashida Harbi, a natural person and a citizen of Michigan. Basically, apparently Laura Loomer was at some event in Minneapolis, and she's saying that Rashida Tlaib physically assaulted her. Plaintiff Laura Loomer, per se, citizen of Florida, hereby sues defendant Rashida Tlaib, a citizen of Michigan, and alleges the following. This is a complaint for damages and equitable relief arising out of the assault and battery and violation of religious rights by then federal congressional candidate Rashida Tlaib. Fantastic. Now, there's a whole bunch in this lawsuit that I haven't even read about, but here's the thing. Apparently, there is video evidence. So I don't know if Rashida Tlaib grabbed her and tried to push her out of an event or what. The court has subject matter jurisdiction over this matter based on diversity of citizenship pursuant to this code, blah, 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 because plaintiff defendants are citizens of different states, blah, blah, blah. So it's in a federal court, United States District Court for the Eastern District of Minnesota. Facts common to all counts. By acts alleged herein, defendant Rashida Tlaib committed assault, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress and violation of religious rights against the plaintiff Loomer. They go into her background. She's a... I hate how they write out lawsuits. Just saying that she's a Jewish female investigative journalist, both a devout Jew and a strong supporter of Israel and its right to exist. She's an investigative journalist reporting on issues, blah, blah, blah. Tlaib, a lawyer trained in the law at Western Michigan University. Now, this is funny how they write this in a lawsuit. Rashida Tlaib somehow became a member of the Michigan State Bar on January 25th, 2007, being assigned registration number, blah, blah, blah. Rashida Tlaib, as a lawyer, know that she is not legally permitted to assault or batter Laura Loomer, nor violently grab Laura Loomer's property, including Laura Loomer's smartphone, which put plaintiff Loomer in fear of severe physical injury. So apparently, she was filming at an event, and Tlaib came up and grabbed her phone and maybe shoved her around a little bit. As a lawyer, Rashida Tlaib also understands the role of the free press under the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, covering candidates for public office and their rights to freely inquire of candidates for public office. So a little more here. Anyway, so apparently whatever they're alleging, there is physical evidence that whatever she said happened, but it looks like Rashida Tlaib just walked up and tried to push her away and take her cell phone. But she puts a bunch of other shit in here about something about the Jewish people and Rashida Tlaib violating her rights to be supportive of Israel or not. This is just one of those shit-so lawsuits. Maybe there might be a mild sanction on Rashida Tlaib, but it's just funny that these two people who I cannot stand, either of them, are going to be in court together. Yay! Hoo-hoo! Hooray! All right, moving on. You know what? I'm going to skip that one. Right now, there is a major push. Major push in the media to downplay the economy. So I got a little 2-minute video here as soon as I can find it as I'm scrolling through here. That is it's kind of funny because again, we were talking yesterday how, ever since that Mueller testimony before Congress, if Mueller didn't even know what was in the damn report, the Democrats have had to find a new play, right? And right now, they're playing two things. They're going to talk about racism and white supremacy. And the New York Times even had in their editorial, they had some leaked documents that said that, you know what, we don't have Russia anymore. Hey, we can talk about racism for the rest of the next 2 years and make sure we're painting Trump as a racist as much as he could. And sometimes Trump's kind of inarticulate way of saying things helps them along sometimes, even though that's a lot of the shit they say is taken out of context. But the second thing they're going to try to get him on is the economy, because right now the economy's strong, even though presidents, I say this all the time. I've been saying this since I used to work in a job where I had to watch the economy constantly because I was always trying to predict interest rates for my clients, being in a banking situation. And so I constantly watch the economy. Presidents don't necessarily affect the economy as much as you would think, although policy can affect the economy. But as far as job creation and a lot of things that happen, a lot of times it's just the business cycle. The way the Congress and the president work together can stimulate the economy or cause it to not grow as fast, or can cause it to slow. But, you know, just a single president, I mean, they sort of can do things. I know what I can do. I'll just find my history here. It's in my history. That's when I think of that. But anyway, so now the strategy is, you got two strategies that the Democrats and the media, which I know that's redundant, but the Democrats and the media are going to try to stay on racism, okay? Racism, white supremacy, because they want to label him as a white supremacist racist, try to scare black people and brown people and all the other people who aren't white, to scare them into voting against Trump, which, you know, that's a strategy. And then the other one is their strategy of trying to downplay an economy that is actually very good. So this video by the Washington Free Beacon, I believe it's a Washington Free Beacon, where's my history there, is freaking hilarious. So let's check this one out. In fact, remember we did this video on the Russians? Well, here's the new one on the economy. Here's the new strategy.
Trying to build up because they'd love to see a recession.
Definitely not rooting for a recession.
Do not want there to be a recession.
Nobody wants to see a recession.
One way you get rid of Trump is a crashing economy. So please bring on the recession.
Why are people talking about a recession?
Oh, shit.
You say it's here.
Do we need to buckle up?
Fasten your seatbelts here.
There are indicators that the U.S. could be headed for a recession.
Oh, hold on. I gotta stop. Stop. I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna start this over because I think it's very important that I alert you to how many times we hear the word recession. Now, I'm not going to include Trump in this one, but I'm going to include it for everybody else.
People in the media are trying to build up because they'd love to see a recession.
Definitely not rooting for a recession.
Do not want there to be a recession.
Nobody wants to see a recession.
One way you get rid of Trump is a crashing economy. So please bring on the recession.
Why are people talking about a recession? You say it's here.
Do we need to buckle up?
Fasten your seatbelts here.
There are indicators that the U.S. could be headed for a recession.
Could be headed for a recession.
Inching toward a recession.
They say potential recession on the horizon.
Happening now, recession fears.
What are the odds that you see of a recession?
Recession.
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 Recession politics.
Including the United States is taking a step toward recession. What does that mean for this presidency?
Suicide.
Growing fears about a possible recession.
Growing fears of a possible recession.
Fears of a recession.
The fears of a recession.
At some point, there's going to be a recession.
Economy goes south. He is in a world of hurt.
There probably are some critics cheering for a recession.
Possible recession. You know, the recession.
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 No, I'm not wishing for a recession.
Well, you should wish for a recession because that will definitely get him unelected.
Trump's trade war could make the Trump recession a reality.
Increasing concerns about a possible recession, with fears of a recession looming.
The recession fear.
Recession.
Well, Trump appears to be in deep trouble when it comes to winning re-election.
Growing fears of a possible recession.
Growing fears of recession.
What recession?
When we talk about the possibility of a recession.
Fears of a looming recession. There are fresh concerns of a recession. Recession.
With recession fears mounting.
We have to make short-term pain.
Remember, everybody, yes,
long-term
right. You have the
Constitution.
Thank you very much.
I just don't think we should be rooting for a recession.
But they are.
Because that's not good for America.
We are due, not celebrating it, but due for a recession.
The recession is not about what the actual numbers say. The recession is about what people start feeling is about to happen.
Now, that last one was the most important one. Listen to what he says. Listen to what he said here. Because the idea that is, if they say it enough times, we can be having the greatest economy ever. And people are going to think that we're in a recession. And I watched this happen. I was, like I said, I used to be in banking. And I watched this happen during about the middle of George Bush's term, where, you know, things were going pretty good after 9/11 because the economy was roaring back. And now there were some fundamental things wrong because they kept pushing all this housing shit that I could go into for hours. The shit they tried to do, and they actually, the government caused the housing crisis. I'm just telling you right now. I'll explain that another. I don't know if I can make a video about that or whatever. The government did that, but they also started talking about the recession. A recession went during the peak of the time when the economy was going great during the Bush years. And you know what? It's a business cycle. There's things that go up must come down. And during that time, like the growth was a little bit overheated. And so anytime you have overheated growth, yeah, you are more likely to have recession. Also, anytime you have a long term of sustained growth, okay, you're likely to have a recession because it's just a natural business cycle. But what these people are doing is they're bringing it. I laugh because they made this video, but I haven't heard the word recession so many times in news since there actually was a recession. You know, the other day when there was an 800-point drop in the stock market, I talked about this the other day, that David Frum, who's he's a Republican in theory, but he's virulently anti-Trump. David Frum on the one day with 800-point drop in the stock market was talking about how this President Trump, inherited this booming economy from President Obama and said now we're in a severe recession. 2.5% growth sustained over almost 3 years. The average at 2.5% growth, not a single month without at least a 1% growth during the entire President of the United States, is not a recession. A recession is 2 consecutive months of negative growth, or excuse me, quarters, 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. Haven't had a single month of negative growth since Trump's been elected. And in fact, Paul Krugman said that we would immediately go into a recession if Trump was elected. Well, that never happened. Okay. Now, some of it is some of the things that Trump and the Congress were able to do early that made it easier for business to do business. Now, I can't always give the President of the United States, regardless of their Republican or Democrat, credit or fault for what's happening in the economy. But they absolutely can do things that screw up the economy. If the government generally is able to, and now, I'm not saying there should be regulations, but I'm just saying that the government can generally stay out of the way, the economy will do just fine. And it's going to have cycles. It's going to have up and down growth. But again, the president has done things to kind of stay out of the way of business, and it's worked. Okay, now I give Congress credit for that too. Well, Congress before the midterms elections of 2018, And that since that Congress has come in, they're trying to do everything to stifle what's going on, and sometimes it's just a matter of, well, here's my experience. I've watched this. A lot of people go to determine the economy by who was president at the time. I'm more likely to determine the economy by who is the majority party in the House of Representatives. If you go by that, you'd much rather have Republicans leading the House of Representatives. You think about during Clinton, the growth for Clinton started happening while the Republicans were in the House of Representatives because they hold the purse strings. Now, but I wish those Republicans in the House of Representatives would learn how to stop spending money, just like they talk about when they're not in power. That's a whole nother story. But really, the business cycles follow that a little more closely than they do by who's president. And you go back and look at it. When the Democrats took over the House towards the end, in the middle of the Bush presidency, when did Bush presidency go? When did the economy go to shit? When the Democrats took over the House. Okay, then when did the economy start growing great? When Clinton was president. When the Republicans were in charge of the House of Representatives. So if you want to play who's in office and whose economies work the best, you can talk about presidents. I can talk about who's in charge of Congress. But anyway, their strategy to beat Trump is racism, white supremacy, and the economy that they have to convince the American people that we're in a recession. So clearly, the strategy. What was the word we heard over and over and over and over and over and over during the first 2.5 years of the Trump presidency? Russia, right? The walls are closing in. They are so mad that Trump beat Hillary Clinton. And they for sure that the Russian story would get him out of there. The walls are closing in. Well, that failed. And now their story is, we're just going to see how many times we can say recession. Because if we say it enough, the American people are going to believe it. And I'll guarantee you right now, if you have people who watch CNN and MSNBC and NBC and ABC and CBS, if those are the stations they watch for their news, and usually it's older people who do that, that word recession has been popping up a lot lately. People really don't listen to what people are saying. I'll bet you ask half those people, they probably think we're already in a recession. So I just found that completely and utterly comical. Hey, let's do this. I'm way over time. So let's just see real quick what's trending on Twitter. I'm glad those of you who are still around are here. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button, hit the share button. Actually, share this out. You know what? If you like people that you watch, and I don't mean just me, but if you like what's happening with people you watch, you like their shows and so on, do me a favor. I'm not even going to say share it. If you have a Twitter account, put the link to the stream or video or whatever of the people you like on Twitter, because YouTube doesn't do it for you anymore. That really helps out people. That helps me more than even donations do right now. That's great. If you'd like to do that, I never shill today, so I got to shill. And also we do Streamlabs. Use the Streamlabs link below if you ever want to do super chats or just want to do donations to the show. That's whether the show is on or not. And I will read whatever you write whenever the show comes on, whenever you do it. So there you go. It's not about the number, but how it feels to you. What the fuck? WF number are a big deal when talking about money. Oh, yeah, no. Right. Yeah, that was what that asshole said. Anyway, real quick, let's take a real quick little quick look at Twitter trends. Oh, by the way, David Koch, one of the Koch brothers that the demon Koch brothers, has died at age 79. Rest in peace, David Koch. His brother Charles announced that today. I'm sure that the trendings today, people are going to be just trashing this man all day long. He'll be on the top of the list for most of the day, I'm guessing. Let's see. Yes, billionaire industrialist David Koch is dead. He deployed his stupendous fortune funding climate denial. In the years when the science was clear and there's still time to avert catastrophic warming, he died as fires raged from the Amazon to the Arctic. Bullshit. You know what? Do you know why the Amazon is burning? Is because there's farmers in the Amazon burning away forests, trying to clear land so they can grow soybeans to sell them to China. Fucking hell. It's the fires in the Amazon are not a natural phenomenon, but everyone likes to talk about it and put the pictures up, and I don't know. And I'm not saying that there's no climate change. Climate's been changing ever since the Ice Age. That's why that's why where I live in Minnesota, I'm not living under a glacier right now, because where I'm living, my house, there probably was a 200-foot glacier here. Okay? The reason there's not a glacier here, because it's been melting ever since the Ice Age. Okay, whatever. And yes, there's a human element to global climate change. I get it. Mostly in China. All the things they want to do in the United States, guess what? We've reduced our carbon emissions more than any other country in the world, even on a per capita basis. So, blah, blah, blah. In fact, if the Paris Climate Accords, one country that actually, even though we got out of it, one country that actually is closer to their goal than any other country, that would be the United States. There you go. Anyway, so there's plenty of people who hate David Koch. I don't. I mean, he's just a guy. He's a libertarian, whatever. You know what? The Koch brothers to the Democrats are George Soros to the Republicans. They're that boogeyman. They're the boogeyman for the Democrats, just like George Soros is the boogeyman for the Republicans. Whether you think it's legitimate or not, okay? In some ways they are legitimate, in some way they're not, because, the Koch brothers tended to like things that were more libertarian, which kind of more in line with the Republicans, and George Soros is a progressive, control the world, trying to manipulate shit that they do too. So welcome to politics. Good, rest in peace, David Koch. Number 2, Jimmy John's is trending. Now, someone wants to boycott Jimmy John's. I work for Jimmy John's. That's my other. I do that. I do some part-time stuff with Jimmy John's too, besides UPS. Jimmy John's is trending because apparently Jimmy, owner of Jimmy John's, celebrating the killing of a beautiful animal. Remember, next time you want a sub. Oh, not good, Jimmy. Not good. Boycott Jimmy John's. We wasn't eating that shit anyway. We sell tons of shit in the store that I am associated with. So y'all boycotting Jimmy John's now. I never liked them trash ass sandwiches anyway. Well, lots of people do like Jimmy John's. I guess maybe the brothers don't like Jimmy John's. Besides, now we got Popeye's got a chicken sandwich that is killer. I don't know if you've tried one yet, but they're really good. Boycotting Jimmy John's because he killed an elephant. All right. When an elephant was tasked with laying down logs in pre-dug holes, it outright refused when a dog was sleeping in one. It wouldn't do anything until the dog left. Elephants have so much empathy and compassion for others. The owner of Jimmy John's is a monster. Now, you know what? It's a good chance. It's trying to figure out how we're going to boycott Jimmy John's if we never at there. Well, that's a poorly whatever sentence. Oh man. So people are mad at Jimmy for killing an elephant. Now, you know what? A lot of times these places where they do these types of hunts are in places where I don't know this whole. There's these parks where you do these hunts that they're there for whatever. Yeah, that happened. I could have sworn that was years ago, but apparently the pictures they've got the pictures up now. Okay, yeah, he's an avid hunter. I don't think this is one of those Twitter boycotts, if you ask me. Can I remind you, people on Twitter, that There's other people in the world besides you. Anyway, Jeezy, I don't know why Jeezy's trending. I don't care. Friday Motivation. Powell, don't know. Jay Powell, why is Jay Powell trending? My only question, who is our bigger enemy? Jay Powell or Chairman Xi? Oh my God. The market dropped over 400 points immediately after Trump tweeted his insane series of tweets about Powell and China. Yeah, someone do take his phone away. It's amazing. Oh my God. Is Jay Powell an authoritarian with a massive army engaged in a tense struggle for regional power with allies in the U.S.? If not, I think I know the answer. Okay. Powell says inflation seems to be moving close to the 2% goal. Oh my God. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell acknowledged that the economy has grown more turbulent in 3 weeks since the Fed cut rates, but stopped short of giving any indication about what might be coming at the next rate-setting meeting in September. You know, don't pick a fight with your Fed chairman. Goddamn. Anyway, moving on. Seth Moulton. Listen, anything on here that I really need. Charles Koch is also trending. Andrew McCabe is trending. There's a good one. Breaking. CNN kills the remainder of its credibility, what little it had, by hiring Andrew McCabe. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Andrew McCabe. Okay. I'm going to finish with this. I'm not going to finish with something else. Andrew McCabe is likely to be indicted. One of the central figures in the Russian collusion hoax, who was fired from the FBI for lying about his leaks to the media, has been hired by CNN, one media outlet that did the most to perpetuate the damaging hoax. Oh my God, are you kidding me? He was fired for lying about leaks to the media. Unbelievable. All right, enough of that makes me want to jump off Twitter. He's going to be trending. I bet he makes it close to number 1 too. Right now it's David Koch, Jimmy Johns. Andrew McCabe is going to be up there too. How long ago did they tweet this? 3 hours ago? There may have been 1 or 2 people that didn't see this coming. Yeah, no, they love to hire anything that's anti-Trump, CNN's going to hire right now. All right, that's it for the Twitter trends. Here's my last story because I thought this was interesting. Well, first of all, Eric Trump announces the birth of the president's 10th grandchild. They had their new daughter. Eric Trump, son of President Trump, announced late Monday night the birth of his and wife Laura Trump's second child. Laura and I are excited to welcome Carolina Dorothy Trump into the world. We love you already, Trump said on Twitter. So congratulations to Eric and Laura Trump, new baby girl in the family. And last but not least, apparently a Breaking Bad movie has been filmed already, according to Bob Odenkirk. Breaking Bad fans who have been holding out for the movie won't have to wait long. Bob Odenkirk, who plays Saul in the series, said that the movie is already in the can. I've heard so many different things about it, but I'm excited about the Breaking Bad movie. I can't wait to see it. I don't know what people know, and I don't know. He told Hollywood Reporter, I find it hard to believe you don't know it was already shot. So they kept it in secret and did a whole new Breaking Bad movie. So if you're a Breaking Bad fan like me, and I'm still wondering what the hell happened to Better Call Saul. I mean, it just disappeared off the face of the earth. I loved Better Call Saul, but maybe the writers had some problems finishing the story. So anyway, if you're a Breaking Bad fan, Breaking Bad is back. In the movie form. Who knows when they're going to release it, though. Anyway, so that's it for today, folks. I had to leave some stuff on the table because I just ran out of time. In fact, I'm way beyond my normal time. So, hey, thank you for being here today. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT, for those people in other parts of the world who use GMT. And remember, before you go, hit the share, hit the like, and if you're really feeling generous, hit the PayPal. No, better yet, instead of donating to me today. Forget that. Even if you didn't even think of doing that, go back over to the monkey stream. I'm seeing they may still be on. In fact, let's find out. Let's see. They're doing a marathon stream for Satsu and Squishy, and yes, they are still live. Doing a little. Go throw a few bucks at Satsu and Squishy. The pending birth of their child. I think she's still kind of in holding pattern right now, but that thing is coming. So, hey, give them some money. Also, Blind Press is also about to go live. Let's see. I got her. I'll click her thing here and put that in the description. Go check out Blind Press after you go donate some money to Satsu and Squishy. Anyway, thank you for being here again. My name is Dawg Knight. Time for some cable cars. I'm out of here. Thank you. Goodbye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and I want to thank you for joining me today on the Dawg Knight channel. Before you go, if you like what you saw and you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT. A special thanks to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through our Streamlabs link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time, I am Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.